In these days of austerity, one has had to take employment at the BBC to make one's ends meet. I shall be conducting this interview here at the Palace. I have with me here George Parr, the Minister for Ministerial Affairs. George Parr, welcome to Hard Talk.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
George Parr, in your election pledge, you said that everyone in the country would bear the brunt of the economic crisis that you inherited from that grumpy Scotsman, whose name escapes me. Who is really going to have to foot the bill?
The most vulnerable of society will bear the brunt of the cuts. For example, we will be cutting pension benefits of lower-paid civil servants. And people on benefits will have their money stopped and told to get back to work. After all, we cannot have severely disabled and terminally ill people taking up hospital beds and claiming benefits, when they should be out looking for work.
I see. But you said in your election pledge that the most vulnerable would be protected.
No, you don't want to take any notice of that. Election pledges are only designed to pull in as many votes as possible. You cannot believe for 1 minute that we ever intended to keep them once we got into power.
Who will be exempted from these cuts?
Well, of course, MPs will be exempted, along with top civil servants, industry leaders, high-wage earners, and not forgetting the bankers, of course.
But these are the very people that caused the financial crisis in the first place. Shouldn't they be made to contribute?
Certainly not. These are all Conservative voters. We cannot afford to alienate them if we want a Conservative majority at the next general election and get rid of those damned Liberal Democrats, once and for all.
So, you are in fact acting out of self-interest.
Of course. Don't all politicians do that?
Yes, unfortunately they do. But I still cannot see that making the vulnerable pay for your mistakes is very fair.
Of course it's not fair, but we are the ones that make the rules, and we are not the ones that will be affected by the cuts. That is all that really matters. That is how it has been throughout history, so we are just keeping up the tradition of blaming the poor for our mistakes, and making them pay for it.
But surely these people are entitled to a better standard of living, are they not?
No, they would not appreciate a good standard of living. They are not like us at all. Have you ever seen them on the Jeremy Kyle show?
No, I don't believe I have. And finally, George Parr, what are your long-term plans for the economy?
As you know, we Conservatives believe in Victorian values. We also want to take Britain back to the Victorian economic model, that is the top 10% of people, which includes me, will have 99% of the country's wealth, whilst the working class people will be paid a pittance, and exploited for our financial benefit, not their own. The benefits system will be scrapped altogether. People will have to work, or starve. People who find themselves destitute, and unable to look after themselves, will be housed in purpose-built employment centres, where they will be encouraged to work and make a contribution to society. State pensions will also be scrapped, so that only the better off who can afford private pensions will be able to retire. Everyone else will have to work until they die, whatever their physical or mental condition.
I see. And what else have you got planned?
We are already cutting housing benefit, which will force working class people out of nice areas into sink estates, so that we do not have to live alongside them. Housing benefit will also be eventually scrapped. As for the National Health Service, that will be privatized and be funded by medical insurance. This will solve overcrowding in hospitals, as only the better off will be able to afford to make use of them. That will also stop working class people from malingering in hospital with petty complaints, such as cancer and heart failure, when they should be at work. The money we save will be put to better use, such as extra money, moats, and duck houses for MPs, bigger bonuses for bankers, and tax breaks for top business people. Then, and only then will we be able to call Britain Great Britain again.
George Parr, thank you for being on Hard Talk.
Thank you, Your Majesty.